Hey everyone, welcome back to Digital Detox for the month of July with the Urban Life Center. Once again, my name is Drake Johnson. I'm the Spiritual Life Coordinator for the Urban Life Center. And today we're going to be going through more details about what a digital detox truly is. And especially for our time today when we live in such a digital world, it's going to be nearly impossible to give every single thing up. So we're going to look at what do we mean by digital detox and what does all of that entail. Now, this was heavily inspired by Cal Newport on his book, Digital Minimalism. He does a great job, and I highly suggest the book for if you're looking to do this for more long term, if you're wanting to take this as a part of your life, or if you're wanting to recommend it for someone that you know. Please feel free to research his book. It's called Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport. So let's begin. Now, digital minimalism is a philosophy of technology use in which you focus your online time on a small number of carefully selected and optimized activities that strongly support things you value, and then happily miss out on everything else. There are three principles to digital minimalism. The first one is that clutter is costly. It's the idea that the more clutter that you have, it will cost you time, energy, and just overall joy and happiness and freedom within your life. The second one is optimization is important. You want to make sure that the tools that you're using are going to be used to help your values, to help your life in every single way that it can. And the third one is intentionality is satisfying. To be able to live a life where you are intentional about the things that you say yes to and the things that you say no to, intentional about how much you let into your life, this becomes a very, very satisfying life that you get to live because now you have control over what you say yes and no to. No longer will you be suffering saying yes to something that you know that you should have said no to. Digital minimalism is about having those rules set in place, having those boundaries set in place for your life to bring you more freedom and joy. So, what is the digital declutter process? Now, the first thing that you're going to do is put aside a 30-day period during which you will take a break from optional technologies in your life. Now, we had just done this for the entire month of July, and I hope that you took the time to take part in that as well. And if you didn't, that's all right. We have the next month coming up. So please take a 30-day break in which you will take a break from all optional technologies. And now during this 30-day break, it's not just going to be about sitting there and twiddling your thumbs and wondering what to do next or biting your nails just looking for the next fix. This time is going to be the time that you will explore and rediscover activities and behaviors that you find satisfying and meaningful. So you're going to want to take the time to really search and figure out what is it that I actually like to do. And last but not least, number 3, at the end of the break, you're going to reintroduce optional technologies into your life, starting from a completely blank state. For each technology that you reintroduce, determine what value it serves in your life and how specifically you will use it so as to maximize this value. All right, so the technology that you're going to be reintroducing, the goal is that by the end of the 30 days, the detox has happened, your mind has been cleansed, and you are now ready to prioritize clearly what should go back into your life and what shouldn't. And so now as you're reintroducing these technologies, you're going to determine what value it serves in your life, whether it's critical or optional, right? You're going to look at how often should I actually be using this? And then you will specifically set a rule like you had practice for doing the 30-day detox using the PDF that we supplied. You're going to go ahead and make a specific rule to how often and when you will utilize this tool, whether it be social media or whether it be text messaging or whether it be scrolling or entertainment, whatever it may be, you're going to have a specific rule for when you can and can't use this technology. And you're going to continue this for the rest of your life, hopefully. And what you would like to do, what you would want to do is go ahead and make sure that you're constantly going back to these rules and go ahead and edit them as time goes on. Make sure that you're fluent enough with these rules that you can go ahead and make sure that they're fitting for exactly the season of life that you're in. Now, here's some common mistakes that people make. Number one, technology restriction rules that were either too vague or too strict. For me, I have a tendency to fall on the too strict side. I usually go cold turkey in every single thing that I do. And I've noticed that when I try to do that with technology, I end up failing and just completely ditching every single thing that I said I was going to do, which has been very frustrating. So you want to make sure that these new restriction rules that you're making are not vague enough to where you can't actually follow them, but they're not strict enough to where you will not want to follow them. Now, number two, another mistake is not planning what to replace these technologies with during the declutter period, leading to anxiety and boredom, right? So we don't want to go ahead and say, I've been spending 4 hours a day on technology and now I'm going to take that out. I have nothing to replace those 4 hours with. This is only going to cause you to sit and stir and eventually break as time goes on because you have nothing else to do with your time. So what you would want to do by that point is make sure that before you do the detox, you have set things that you want to try out, whether it be hiking, crocheting, reading some books, if it be axe throwing or anything that you can possibly think of that could become a hobby of yours, what you would want to spend your time in. This 30-day detox is going to be a time of exploring and figuring out what it is that you actually like to do outside of technology. And number three, those who treated this experiment purely as a detox, where the goal was to simply take a break from their digital life before returning to business as usual, also struggled. A temporary detox is a much weaker resolution than trying to permanently change your life, and therefore much easier for your mind to subvert when the going gets tough. So make sure that you have the mindset that you need in order to get through this detox. Make sure that you know exactly why you're choosing to take part in this digital detox, whether that be just for a limited time just to try it out, or whether it be for a lifelong goal. And what would help tremendously is when it becomes a lifelong goal. You're saying, I want to change the way that I utilize technology. I want to change the way I optimize my time on technology. I want to make it more, what would you call it? I want to make it more personalized to my needs and what I need on a daily basis for my work, my personal life, and for myself. All right, so step one is define your technology rules. There's 3 different categories that we have here. It's critical, convenient, and distracting. Critical are going to be things like your work calendar and your communications with your loved ones, things that you don't want to give up, things that you couldn't give up to continue living, things that would, if you gave them up, would cause you to get fired from your job or cause you to have miscommunications with those that are immediate right there in your household that you really need to be speaking to on a daily basis. Convenient things are things like Google Maps, Yelp, social media, yes, even Google Maps. This means going back to MapQuest and printing out the actual street routes so that way you know where to go and how you're going to be getting there. Now, some people, for their jobs, it's actually critical for them to have maps because of their driving and what they need to be doing on a daily basis. So make sure that you're making all of this customizable to you and your position and where you're at. Make sure you're looking at the context of your life and what's actually going to be just convenient for you, but what's actually critical for you. And the last one is going to be distracting. This is things like doom scrolling or YouTube. Now, I know for me in my life, I use YouTube a lot. YouTube is one of my biggest things. It is also a distraction, but sometimes it is also critical. And so these were things where you're going to be setting up those actual rules as to how much you can use it and when and why you're going to be using it. So for me with YouTube, I took off the app off of my phone, and now I can only utilize it on Safari when I go onto the actual web browser on my phone. But when I do that, I have to have a specific purpose. I can't go on there and just scroll for entertainment. I have to know exactly what it is that I'm looking for. And so I need to use the search bar each and every single time. Now, so that's one of my rules, the ways that I've customized it to the way that my life is and what I need. Now, step two is going to be taking a 30-day break. Now, this is what we did for the month of July. If you haven't gotten the chance to do so, please go ahead and get started on doing this as soon as you're able to. So during this month-long process, you must aggressively explore higher quality activities to fill in the time left vacant by the optional technologies you're avoiding. This period should be one of strenuous activity and experimentation. You're going to want to try anything and everything that you can, whether it be ballroom dancing, whether it be a workout routine, whether it be aerobics in the park, anything that you can get your hands on. You're going to be trying and experimenting whatever you can to do some types of activities. You want to arrive at the end of the declutter having rediscovered the types of activities that you generate real satisfaction from. This will enable you to confidently craft a better life, one in which technology serves only a supporting role for more meaningful ends. It's oftentimes that we have technology as the major role in our lives, but this whole goal is to make it the supporting role. You want this to enhance the quality of the things that you truly love doing in your life, not to deteriorate them. Step 3 is reintroducing technology. After going through all of the decluttering, your mind is going to be clear and ready to go to be able to reintroduce the technologies that were optional that you took out during the 30-day declutter, and you're going to bring them back into your life. Now, these optional technologies that you're going to be bringing back in, they need to go through a screening. And so this screening, before you allow them back into your life, it needs to have 3 things. The first thing is it needs to serve something you deeply value. This means that offering just some benefit is not enough. It needs to be offering a ton of benefits to your life. It needs to serve you. It needs to serve something that you deeply and truly 100% value. The second thing is that it needs to be the best way to use technology to serve that value. If it's not, replace it with something better. And so basically, you're going to look at your life, and let's say that for you and the way that you learn, YouTube isn't the best option for you, but something like Skillshare might be. So when you're going through this screening technology, you would ask yourself the question, is YouTube the best value for my time with the way that I learn and how I need things and how I work with things in the world today? And if that answer is no, and you need something a little bit more deeper into what you're looking into, something like an online course or like Skillshare might be the option. And you would say, well, let me go ahead and try that out. And the last thing is number 3, have a role in your life that is constrained with a standard operating procedure that specifies when and how you use it. So, and that's a typo in there. That's supposed to say rule. So have a rule in your life that is constrained with the standard operating procedure that specifies when and how you use it. And basically have a rule for the technology that you're bringing back. If you're going to say, okay, I'm going to use YouTube and I'm going to reintroduce that technology back into my life, have a rule, whether it be a time frame, how you're going to utilize it, when you're going to utilize it. Make sure you're very specific in that. You can even get as specific as saying, okay, Monday evenings from 5:30 p.m. to 6 p.m., I will be able to utilize YouTube in that time frame. All right, so make sure that whatever you're bringing back is going to serve you and the values that you have, and that it is the best tool that you can use for that value, for what you're trying to do, whatever that may be. All right, and that is the digital decluttering challenge for the month of July. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it, that it has been a tremendous help to you and your life with technology, helping you to mitigate what's critical, what's optional, and what's just plain out distracting. And I hope that during these 30 days, you have gotten rid of the distracting 100% and that it is never coming back into your life. And as you continue to bring in the optional technologies, make sure you take that time as you're reintroducing them to really settle in on those rules and make sure that you're going back and reflecting over them, making sure that it truly works in your life for the way that you need it during this season of your life. And remember, as things change, these optional technologies will change. As new technology comes out, there's going to be times for you to be able to look at those and see if those would be more efficient to meet your needs and your goals and your values for whatever it is that you're trying to do. And so with that being said, I thank you once again for joining us on the July Digital Detox Challenge. I hope that it has been a blessing to you and your life, and that you would continue to learn about optimization of technology to really help you and not distract you.